All right. By the way, my name is Versatile, aka the Akabulan Trust, a name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. And right now, we are most definitely going to continue on reacting to Diddy's trial. Get me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I listen. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I feel like give me a second. Let me just sort out myself. Like, in fact, before I even get into that, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I mean? If you're new here, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that, share. If you're a returning subscriber, shout you out each and every single time. I will get to a point where I will write down a list of people that I should shout out. You know what I mean? Or find a way to get their names up on the screen and stuff like that. I'm trying to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, but yeah, let me know how you're feeling and what your week's been saying, all that stuff there. But anyway, let's just get into July 1st, which is day 34. And it's magic because this actual trial did actually last 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It genuinely lasted 8 weeks. It would have been better if it would lasted anyway. We'll get to that another time. But I did mention about American Independence Day, July 4th. Get me? Because that landed on it landed at just in time for that. Do you know what I mean? Like this, you have to bear in mind the holidays. But anyway, all right. So where was I? All right. So the 1st of July marked day 34 of Sean Combs' federal trial in Manhattan's Southern District of New York, presided over Judge Arun Subramanian. This was the second day of jury deliberation following the start of deliberation on June the 30th, 2025, after 7 weeks of testimony and closing arguments, which also included obviously evidence. Now, I need you to answer. I want to ask you this question. You can even answer in the comment section below. Do you? I thought this gone. What was the question I was going to ask? All right, the question I was going to ask was: do you believe? No, no. How long? Yeah. Do you believe a jury deliberation? Which, by the way, jury deliberation is when the jurors come together and they literally uh verify whether they go over the case and they try to find out whether that person is guilty or innocent. Do you know what I mean? That's what that is. Now, the question I want to ask you is this year. How long do you think like it should take? Do you know what I mean? Especially if let's just say it's been 7 weeks since they've seen evidence and they've heard testimonies. How long should it be? Leave your answer in the comment section below. I genuinely want to know. Yeah. Like, I will give my answer at the end of this trial, or when we get to the verdict situation. I will stay my bit, but I want to know what your answer is right now in the comment section below. You know what I mean? But anyway, all right. So one of the key events was the jury deliberation continued. The jury resumed deliberations and it lasted again around 5.5 hour for a total of approximately 12.5 hours by the end of July 1st. Um, Again, they reviewed evidence from 34 prosecution witnesses, Cassie, Jane, former assistant David, James, Capricorn Clark, male escorts, and federal agents, plus exhibits, yeah, like the 2016 Intercontinental Hotel assault video, text messages, travel receipts, and again $2,500 Gucci payment. All right. Um, Now, I need you to pay attention as well. If you're going through all of that, this is why I had to ask that question. If you're going through all of that, how long should it really take you to really come to a decision? Or because look, I remember I think it was in My Wife and Kids. No, it wasn't My Wife and Kids. I was watching I forgot what episode and what season it was on My Wife and Kids. And I remember they had they were part of the jury selection or whatever the case may be. And I believe Jay like no yeah, do you know what, this is good to actually talk about. I promise you, if you have not watched My Wife and Kids, you know what I mean, if you watch My Wife and Kids, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm about to say, you already know. All right. So if I remember any episode, um, they got selected for jury, both the Jay and Michael, right? And what happened was, I remember because of the type of case it was, um, Michael believed the person was guilty, and at the same time, he literally just wanted to go home and watch. Um, I think it was an American football or basketball. I can't remember. He wanted to go home and watch sports. Same way that the majority of the guys, yeah, the majority of the guys in on that jury team, like they also wanted to hurry up and just get up out of there. They're like, guilty. Yep. Do you know what I mean? But then his wife says, Jay, if you don't know, like she's like, she's not having it. She's like, no, 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 no. Let's do this properly. Like she didn't believe he was guilty. Not like that, but like I can't remember to put it. But if I remember correctly, that was that. If I could find that, if I could find a clip and post it and show you, I will show you. I promise you, yeah. This is what this jury deliberation is reminding me of. I kid you not, yeah, and it's because of the timing as well. Like like if you think about it, it's the timing. Thanksgiving, I think that was around Thanksgiving, yeah, and then my wife and kids, and in this situation, this is around July 4th, Independence Day. Like you literally, genuinely cannot make this up. Anyway, and you know the Wayans, they're gonna have a joke about this some way, somehow in a new scary movie. I can see that coming because the new scary movie is coming. Spoiler alert. And I think they're still in writing as well. So anyway, so yeah, the second key event, uh, first note request for testimony and evidence on the 1st of July. Well, we know the date of it. The jury sent a note requesting transcript sections, including Cassie Ventura's testimony about March 2016 Intercontinental Hotel incident where Sean Combs assaulted her as captured on CCTV. They also requested related messages and surveillance video itself, indicating focus on bank trafficking and transportation charges, counts 2 to 5. Yeah. Prosecutors led by Maureen Comey and defense attorneys led by Mark Agnifilo um, debated which excerpts were responsive, with disagreements over context. I mean, if this evidence as a whole, just share it. Do you know what I mean? Because they need to come to a proper conclusion. So give everything, everything. I don't see why not. You want, you know what I mean? Because here's my thing. Yeah, if let's say for example the prosecution team, if they genuinely believe the person's guilty, then don't be afraid to give everything. If you think if you're part of the defense team and you think the person you're defending is innocent, then don't be afraid that everything should be shown or given. You know what I mean? Because then it will act like it will help it. It's not about that. That helps your context. Like it's like, for example, if you watch podcasts or interviews or whatever the case may be, there's always an often case where a clip will go viral, but then it could be taken out of context because you don't see the full clip or the full video of when it started and how it ended. Do you know what I mean? So the view is different. Now, sometimes the context could still be the same if you watch the beginning and the end. However, or the full video, but at the same time, it's better to have everything all in one. That way, there's nothing that's going to be misconstrued. Nothing. All right. Where was I? So, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson suggested providing a searchable PDF of the transcripts, while Defense Attorney Tenny Gregos pushed for including messages about the intercontinental blank off to show Cassidy's alleged consent. Oh my gosh, this guy. You see how the defense is so weak here? No disrespect here. But we saw that video. They saw that video. So are you telling me the way she was trying to run out that she consented to that. Now let's assume I don't want to assume any. I don't really want to assume because it's obviously whatever the case. In fact, I'm going to assume. Let's let's assume she did consent and say, "Oh, she's really interested." Blah blah blah. And do you know what I mean? This is what probably a day or 2 days, and they've set up everything. And then let's just say she only did that because she wanted to make Diddy happy because she knew. Excuse me. If she says she doesn't want to do anymore, she knows the consequences. Unfortunately, with her trying to run out, she suffered one of the consequences. Like we saw that violent behavior towards her. We saw that. You know what I'm saying? We saw that. And some may say, "Oh, that's domestic violence." Yes, it is domestic violence, but also that is kidnapping. That genuinely is kidnapping. I can't even, there's no two ways about that. That's literally kidnapping. What do you mean you're holding someone hostage by saying you like not saying, but you can clearly see that he doesn't want her to go, and you can clearly see it's not over. You know what I mean? And if that, because I remember before the trial started, I remember some people saying, "Oh, she stole something. She stole something." Okay, even if she did steal something, that's still no way to treat someone. What you do is you get someone like the police involved and be like, "Yo, this person stole something." Yeah, and you can see the CCTV footage. Yeah, in this place, and you can search and find out. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's just me. All right. Yeah, man. You be like, "Yeah, but no snitch." Listen, I'm a citizen. Yeah, me. I ain't no. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no road man. I ain't no. Yeah, me. I'm me. I mean, look. Anyway, let's focus on this. Not on me. Let's focus on this. All right. So, Judge Subranium sub the judge basically agreed to provide some earlier and later messages for context, ensuring fairness. Yeah, see, fairness is important, as I just mentioned. All right. So one of the third things is on partial verdict on deadlock on RICO. This is why I had to mention what I mentioned earlier. All right. So around midday, yeah, the jury sent a critical note to Judge Subramaniam stating they had reached a verdict on 4 of 5 counts. Yeah. So they didn't mention exactly what the counts were, but they mentioned 4 of the 5 counts. All right. But were unable to agree on count one, racketeering conspiracy, indicated a deadlock after 12.5 hours of deliberation. The RICO charge required proving Sean Combs led a criminal enterprise with at least 2 predicate acts. Example: blank trafficking, blank bribery, narcotics distribution within 10 years. Now, hear me out and hear me out loudly and clearly. I'm going to repeat that. All right. I am literally going to repeat that. Around midday, the jury sent a critical note to Judge Subramaniam stating they had reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 counts but were unable to agree on count one, racketeering conspiracy, indicating a deadlock after 12.5 hours. Yeah. All right, boom, watch this. Yeah. The RICO charge required proving Sean Combs led a criminal enterprise with at least 2 predicate acts. Yeah. Example one, blank trafficking, two, blank, and blankage it, I think that was count. Is that count five? If I remember correctly. Either way, listen. In fact, I should have it here. Hang on. Give me a second. Yeah, which is count five, which is transportation to engage in blank. Right. Just bear that in mind. Like in mind. All right. Okay. And then now, okay. Let me get back to where I was. All right. So boom. The deadlock reflected the charge complexity as noted by former prosecutor Robert Mentz, who said it's the most challenging charge due to the need to a coordinated plan. But how is it challenging? This is what I don't understand. And you know what? I do believe the prosecution team, what they should have done, and I could be wrong, they should have charged Christina Coram at the same time. They should have charged D Rock at the same time. Do you know why? Because those names were brought up on several occasions. All right, they literally are part of the, you know what I mean, the criminal enterprise. That's just a fact. In fact, I can't even say that's a fact based on what I'm hearing, and I'm pretty sure based on what they're seeing with the text messages and all that stuff that they clearly are involved some way somehow. And it's not even whether with or without their knowledge. It's with their knowledge. Yep, like it's with that. It's different if they didn't know. It's completely different if they didn't know. But it's clear that they did know. Like it's very clear. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens afterwards. Anyway, so the courtroom response: the judge convened the parties to discuss the note. Prosecutors led by Comey proposed a modified Allen charge, a judicial instruction encouraging deadlocked jurors to re-examine their views to reach unanimity unanimity without forcing a verdict, arguing it was necessary to avoid a mistrial on count one. The defense, led by Agnifilo, objected, calling it premature and advocated for more gentle language to avoid pressuring jurors. I don't think that, I don't think they were pressure. I don't think the prosecution team was pressuring jurors. Like from my understanding, that's more or less letting them know, take your time. Yeah. Take like literally take your time. You can't afford for this to be a mistrial. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't afford for it. That but anyway. And then where was I? Boom, 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 boom. So please continue liberating with an open mind. Where was I? Hold on. So to avoid press from jurors. The judge obviously agreed the government proposal was not a full add-on charge, but a reiteration of the duty to deliberate, instructing the jury, please continue deliberating with an open mind, right? And then be consistent with your obligations to follow my instructions on the law, all right? The jury continued deliberating, but sent another note later requesting to adjourn for the day. And this is where you need to understand that they literally had enough. They wanted to literally go home. They wanted to be with their families. You cannot tell me any different. You can if you want to. You can put it in the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts are. But I just get that sense. And again, I could be wrong. I literally could be wrong. And this ain't to say that I'm on the side of on either one. I'm on the side of justice. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm just trying to be impartial and give a fair view on certain situations. For me, this is why I asked that question. How long do you think it should take for the jurors to deliberate or to find the defendant guilty or innocent, especially when the case has been like 7 weeks? You got as many testimonies, you got a shed load of witnesses. Well, yeah, again, shed load of witnesses, but also a shed load of evidence. Yeah, like how long should that take? You know what I mean? How long for the jury to come to a decision? Like, does that make sense for it to? You know what I mean? Anyway, so the discussion, the next thing was on the deliberations. Wound it down. The jury's note about adjourning prompted a discussion on the schedule given the upcoming July 4th holiday. You see what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? They are focusing on holiday. That's what they want. They want to be with their family. Wouldn't you want to be with your family? Let me even ask you this question in the comments below. And you leave it in the comments below. Do you believe, yeah? And this is just one of my questions I want to ask. Give me a second while I get this up. All right. Do you believe that if you were on the jury team, doesn't matter what the case is, right? Let's imagine you're part of the jury team. Do you honestly think that you could be in the best position and mindset knowing that a particular holiday is coming up where you're spending time with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and the trial has been long. You've heard so much, you've seen so much. Wouldn't you want to just hurry up and get out of there? Like, seriously, just be done with the case. Like, because obviously you didn't study law. You know what I mean? It's just your duty as a citizen of that state or whatever the case may be to be able to do jury duty. Do, do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is what I'm thinking to in my mind. It makes more sense. 6 women, 6 men on the jury team that all study law, whether they're still students or do you know what I mean, or they're practicing law or they're retired. Like, it should be those guys. No disrespect to the citizens of any country, any state, any principalities, any of that. It should be those guys. I promise you, it should be those. I promise. I genuinely believe it's those guys, and I could be wrong. I'm just thinking fair is fair, but I digress. But anyway, Agniflow requested a comment moment to confer. Comey supported giving jurors the option to continue on July 3rd, while Agniflow requested a moment to confer. The judge adjourned court for the day, with deliberations set to resume on July the 2nd. If no verdict was reached by July 3rd, deliberations would pause for July 4th holiday and resume July 7th. Do you know why it's key that I read that and mentioned that? It's because at the end of the day, what would you rather do? Like, on a serious level, yeah? What would you rather do? Yeah, give me a second. Let me just pull this up. What would you genuinely rather do? Would you rather get this done and wrapped up for in time for July 4th, or pause for after the holidays, then you're going to be back in the right headspace to be able to sort this out, to resolve this case, resolve this situation. Because if you cannot agree on count one, and you already came to the decision on the four other charges, do you know what I mean? Clearly, you need more time. You need more time. But how much time? How much time do you need? But listen. I'll be honest. Look, I'm just speaking from another point of view in it. Like, I'm not trying to be someone. Like, again, I'm not American. All right. And let's say again, I'm not American. I'm not from New York, the state of New York, where this case was being trialed. Or is that the word? Trialed or tried? I'm not from there, so I wouldn't know. I don't know the law like in and out like that. I don't know the state law in and out like that. Hell, I don't even know the law of the UK where I'm at right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I know some things, but you know what I'm saying? But the reality is, if you live by good morals and, like, thank you, God, like, always put him on the right path and guiding me, and I'll continue to pray to God to give me more guidance and be able to move in the right light and space. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely believe, yeah, that you can avoid being in certain situations where that land you in these type of situations. And don't get twisted, there are some that have and do have strong faith, no matter what religion, no matter what spiritual system they believe or practice, where they have ended up on the wrong side of the law, where the 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 verdict hasn't gone their way despite all the evidence. Do you know, like, don't get it twisted, because there have some people that's been wrongly convicted. However, the point I'm trying to make in all of this is I'm just trying to put things into perspective in regards to this particular case. All right. This particular case. It's not because he's an entertainer or he's come from the entertainment industry or he's a businessman, he's this, he's that. The fact is this: if someone has a lot of evidence, a lot of witnesses that are being presented, the right thing needs to be done by the jury team, or whatever they call them, the jurors. It needs to be the right thing needs to be done. You're not going to be in the right headspace just before holidays. You're just not. Like, tell me something. If you're working, if you're employed, right, and you got a holiday coming up, yeah, is your mindset the day before or a few days before going to be on the holidays, or is it going to be on the job at hand? Leave your answer comment below. Be honest. Be honest. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on day 2. I'll say day 2, not day 2. On it's day 2 of the jury deliberations. That's what I was going to say. Let me know what your thoughts are, because I just think it's a bit. You're on it, but you're not really on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're on it, but you're not really on it. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's fair what the jury selection is. You know what I mean? I should have picked it up from the beginning. I should have picked it up from the beginning, but I was more focused on the testimonies and the stuff like that. The jury selection is what I should have paid attention to. But anyway, let's keep it moving.